name is Zoha Asghari from University Middle School, and I am proud to uphold the opposition side of this resolution. This House believes that the prison system should be abolished. I will start off with a framework for this round. Judge, whichever side provides the most safety for prisoners and the general public should win this round. I agree with the many concerns that my opponent expressed in her speech. I agree that our prison system currently is ineffective at stopping crime and unfairly targets people based on race, and that these are terrible problems which must be stopped. However, abolish means to completely do away with, according to the Merriam-Webster Dictionary. In order to remain topical to the resolution in this round, my opponent must offer support for completely doing away with our prison system, and she must provide reasons why this is uniquely the best solution to all of the harm she outlines in her case. As of now, she has not specified why a complete abolishment of the prison system should be preferred, or how that would even work in the status quo. In fact, she actually does not provide you with any examples of places that have actually abolished the prison system in her case. In the meantime, I will offer a counterplan to my opponent's advocacy. Instead of completely doing away with our prison system, I will argue that the U.S. government should reform our prison system according to the standards set forth by the United Nations in their benchmarks for action in prison reform, which are linked to my citations below. This document includes sweeping reforms designed to improve not only prisons themselves, but also the criminal justice system generally speaking. Among its key stipulations, it suggests that pretrial detention times be minimized, that prison management be improved through training of managers in order to remain integrity to human rights, a shift to non-custodial sanctions where possible so that people are not detained for non-violent offenses, and incorporation of restorative justice practices rather than punitive measures, such as isolation, and a commitment to strong social reintegration. There are a few key reasons why prison reform should be preferred to abolishment. First, effective punishment. I will argue that people who harm society should still pay a price for what they have done. National Affairs, a domestic policy journal, notes that an effective system of punishment would be intrinsically rehabilitative, dissuading the perpetrator from wanting to repeat the behavior in the first place. A more effective system of justice requires selecting those punishments that would actually make offenders sorry for what they have done, and less likely to repeat it, rather than those penalties most likely to satisfy social outrage over the offender's actions. Options include treating prisoners' addictions, compelling work behind bars, and revising sentences to ensure they are actual punishments rather than exercises in human warehousing. They go on to suggest that a component of prisoners' punishment consists of rewarded work, so that they are not only providing society with a service, but also learning valuable skills that they can use once they return to society. All this means that people who harm society and break its laws still receive some form of consequence for what they did. But it is a consequence with future deterrence and support that they need to make fully better choices. This is why key reform should be supported over complete prison abolition. Second, human rights. Prison reform can solve for the human rights issues that my opponent and I are both deeply concerned for. Coyle and Fair of the Institute of Criminal Policy Research have published an in-depth document on how prison reforms would support human rights for those incarcerated. They write that there are certain basic physical requirements that must be met if the state is to comply with its obligation to respect the prisoner's human dignity and fulfill its duty of care. These include adequate provision of accommodation, hygienic conditions, clothing, and bedding, food, drink, and exercise. When a judicial authority sends someone to prison, the international standards are clear, that the punishment imposed should be solely deprivation of liberty. Imprisonment should not include risk of physical or emotional abuse by staff or other prisoners. It must not include serious illness or even death because of the physical conditions or the lack of proper care. Prisoners must not be subjected to living conditions which are themselves human and degrading. By reforming current prisons in the American prison system so that all these stipulations are followed, we would effectively uphold people's human rights and ensure that no one is being incarcerated in inhumane and unhealthy conditions. Third, solvency. Judge, prisons like the one I'm suggesting have been proven to work. Countries like Norway and the UK both have redesigned their prisons to be more effective. There are no riots and no instances of physical or mental harm happening because of the people in the prison. Hans Jorgen Brucker states, I really don't remember the last time we had violence here. In Norway prisons, they leave every prisoner with a clear goal in life. In Norway, the punishment is just to take away someone's liberty. The other rights stay because inmates are human beings. They have done wrong and they must be punished, but they are still human beings. In fact, many inmates are released from Halden, a prison in Norway, as fully qualified mechanics, carpenters, and chefs. Happier inmates aren't the only advantage to this counterplan. Norway used to have a reoffend rate of 60 to 70%, just like the U.S. After 2 years of its implemented their new plan, the reoffend rate decreased to just 20%. In the UK, a similar system was implemented. Just after 1 year, the reoffend rate dropped to 50%. Judge, completely abolishing the system just won't work. The world isn't simple enough to believe that a serial killer will stop killing if he doesn't have any punishment. Judge, think about it this way. If you stole a cookie and had no punishment, would you do it again? Of course you would. There is no punishment, so why would you stop? Abolishing prisons may seem like a good plan at first, But in the end, it will not stop crime. People will continue to commit crime because there is no punishment. What is the point of even calling it a crime if there is no punishment? Judge, I agree that the prison system today is inhumane. I agree that the system has some problems, but this doesn't mean that we should completely abandon the system altogether. A revised system has been proven to work, and it would work better than completely abolishing prisons in the first place. For all these reasons, I urge a favor in our opposition team. Thank you.